Saving money feels good, doesn't it? It's a habit our parents and grandparents drilled into us. Put a little aside from every paycheck, watch that number in your bank account slowly creep up, and sleep soundly knowing you have a cushion. This advice is everywhere, and it's not entirely wrong. Saving is the essential first step on any financial journey. It's the foundation. But here's the hard truth. Saving alone will never, ever make you rich. It's a comforting lie we tell ourselves because it feels safe, simple, responsible. It feels like we are in control. The act of saving provides a powerful sense of security. You check your banking app and see a number there, a tangible result of your discipline and hard work. This number represents safety from a sudden car repair, an unexpected medical bill, or a job loss. This is why we cling to it so tightly. It's a defense mechanism against a chaotic world. The problem is, we mistake this feeling of safety for the act of building real, lasting wealth. We think that if we just keep piling up cash in a savings account, one day we'll wake up rich. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how money actually grows. Think of your financial life like building a house. Saving money is like gathering all the bricks and the lumber you will ever need. It's a crucial, non-negotiable step. You absolutely cannot build a house without materials. But just stacking those bricks in your yard doesn't give you a house. It gives you a pile of bricks. To build the house, to build real wealth, you need a blueprint, and you need to actually start constructing something. You need a plan to put those materials to work. Saving is passive. Wealth building is an active process. It requires a different mindset and a different set of actions. This essay is your blueprint. We are going to dismantle the myth that saving is the ultimate goal. I will show you precisely why your savings account is failing you, even as you do everything you've been told is right. More importantly, I will give you the exact practical steps you need to take to move beyond simply saving and start actively building a rich life. It's not about complex charts or risky bets. It's about understanding a few simple systems and putting your money to work so you can stop worrying about every dollar and start living a life that isn't dictated by the balance in your checking account. Well, the picture that comes to mind is a large piggy bank with a small crack in it, with tiny coins slowly leaking out. Let's get specific. The first reason your savings account is a trap is because of the laughably low returns it offers. Banks are not your friends in this regard. They are businesses. They take your money, which you give them for safekeeping, and they lend it out to other people for mortgages, for car loans, and for business loans at much higher interest rates. In return for this service, they give you a tiny sliver of the profits. We're talking about interest rates that are often less than 1% per year. Sometimes, it's closer to 0.1%. Let's put that into numbers. If you manage to save $10,000, a 1% return gets you $100 after a full year. That's it. Now let's introduce the first silent thief that is actively stealing from you every single day: inflation. Inflation is the rate at which the general cost of goods and services rises, which means your purchasing power falls. That loaf of bread, that gallon of gas, that movie ticket, they all cost more this year than they did last year. The historical average for inflation is around 3% per year. So, if your savings account is paying you 1% interest, but inflation is running at 3%, you are not breaking even. You are losing 2% of your money's value every single year without even touching it. Your money is literally becoming less powerful while it sits there. Think about it this way. You worked hard to save that $10,000. You put it in the bank, feeling responsible. After 1 year, your statement says you have $10,100. You feel a small victory. But what you could buy with $10,000 a year ago now costs $10,300. So, even though your statement shows a higher number, your actual ability to buy things with that money has gone down. Your savings account is a leaky bucket. You're pouring money in the top through diligent saving, but inflation is poking holes in the bottom, letting its value drain out slowly and silently. It's a guaranteed way to lose ground over time. This isn't some abstract economic theory, it's a reality that affects you every time you go to the grocery store. Keeping large amounts of cash in a low-yield savings account beyond your emergency fund is like choosing to run on a treadmill that's tilted backward. You have to run faster and faster just to stay in the same place, and you will never actually move forward. The feeling of safety your savings account provides is an illusion. The real danger isn't the stock market, the real guaranteed danger is the slow, certain erosion of your wealth by inflation. It's a silent tax on people who play it safe. The second silent thief robbing you is opportunity cost. This is a simple but profound concept. For every choice you make with your money, you are giving up the potential benefits of all the other choices you could have made. When you choose to let your money sit in a savings account, earning 1%, you are actively saying no to the opportunity to earn 7%, 8%, or even 10% elsewhere over the long term. This difference might not seem like a big deal in a single year, but over decades, the consequences are staggering. This is where you lose the race to wealth without even realizing you're competing. Let's talk about the magic of compound interest. You've heard of it. It's when your interest starts earning its own interest. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. But here's the secret. Compound interest is only magical when it's working with a meaningful rate of return. At 1% in a savings account, it's less like magic and more like watching paint dry. Let's use our $10,000 example again. After 30 years in a savings account earning 1% a year, you would have about $13,478. Okay, it's more than you started with, but it's hardly life-changing, especially after accounting for 30 years of inflation. Now, let's see what happens when you put that same $10,000 to work in the stock market, which has historically returned an average of around 8% per year over the long run. After 30 years, that initial $10,000 would grow to over $100,626. Read that again. That is not a typo. It's the difference between $13,000, $100,000. The only thing that changed was the decision of where to put the money. The opportunity cost of playing it safe in this scenario was over $87,000. You didn't lose that money in a market crash, you lost it by doing nothing. It's the invisible loss that hurts the most. This is the mathematical reality that separates savers from the wealthy. The wealthy understand that money is a tool that must be put to work. Savers see money as something to be hoarded and protected. By choosing the perceived safety of a savings account, you are sacrificing the single most powerful wealth-building engine available to you, a high rate of compound growth over a long period of time. You are choosing a path that mathematically cannot lead to significant wealth. It's time to stop ignoring this power and start harnessing it for yourself. Well, picture a small sapling labeled Savings 1% next to a giant towering sequoia labeled Investing 8%. So, if not a savings account, then what? The answer is investing. I know what you're thinking. Investing is risky. It's complicated. It's for rich people with fancy suits. This is all wrong. We've been conditioned to see investing as gambling, like putting your money on red at a roulette table. It's not. Gambling is a short-term bet on a random outcome. Investing, when done correctly, is the long-term ownership of assets that have intrinsic value and the potential to grow. You're not betting. You're buying a piece of the world's most successful companies and participating in their growth. The easiest way for almost anyone to get started is with low-cost index funds. An index fund is a type of mutual fund that holds a little bit of everything in a specific market index, like the S&P 500, which is made up of the 500 largest companies in the US. Instead of trying to pick the next winning stock, you just buy the whole haystack. This automatically diversifies your money across hundreds of companies, dramatically reducing your risk. When the overall economy grows, your investment grows with it. You don't need to be an expert or watch the market every day. You just buy and hold for the long term. Another option, especially for those who want more stability, is bonds. When you buy a bond, you are essentially lending money to a government or a corporation. In exchange, they promise to pay you back the full amount on a specific date, with regular interest payments along the way. Bonds are generally less risky than stocks and provide a more predictable income stream. Many people build a portfolio with a mix of stocks for growth and bonds for stability. This balanced approach helps smooth out the ups and downs of the market and lets you sleep at night. Finally, there are other assets like real estate. Owning a property can build wealth in two ways: through appreciation, the property's value going up over time, and through cash flow, collecting rent from tenants. While it requires more capital and hands-on management, it can be a powerful, wealth-building tool. The key takeaway is that you have options. These aren't wild, risky schemes. They are proven, accessible strategies that ordinary people use every day to build extraordinary wealth. The first step is simply to stop fearing the word investing and start seeing it for what it is: the engine of wealth creation. While investing is critical, there's another piece of the puzzle that is just as powerful, if not more so: increasing the amount of money you bring in. There is a hard limit to how much you can save. You can only cut your expenses so much before you're living on ramen noodles in a dark room. But there is no limit to how much you can earn. This mindset shift separates the moderately successful from the truly rich. Instead of just focusing on defense-cutting costs, start playing offense, increasing income. This is the fastest way to accelerate your journey to wealth. The most straightforward path: increase your salary at your primary job. Most people passively wait for a 2% annual raise, which probably doesn't keep up with inflation. Top performers take control, track accomplishments, research market value, and learn to negotiate. Negotiating a one-time $5,000 raise can be worth hundreds of thousands over your career once invested. Learning negotiation yields one of the highest ROIs you'll find. Beyond your 9-to-5, develop a side income stream. The internet makes this easier than ever. Leverage a skill you already have: writing design coding, organizing coaching, and turn it into a freelance business. Start small, 5 to 10 hours a week. Earn an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month. Huge financial firepower. Use that cash to destroy debt supercharge investments or save for a major goal, all without touching your primary salary. It creates a buffer and gives you options and control. That side income can evolve into full entrepreneurship. Starting a small business is an ultimate way to build wealth. Create an asset that generates income and can be sold in the future. It involves risk and tremendous work, not for everyone. But don't dismiss it. Think about problems you can solve. Your income reflects the value you provide. Focus on increasing skills, provide more value, and income will follow. The word debt often carries a negative, scary connotation. For many people, debt means stress, high-interest credit card bills, a feeling of being trapped. And it's true, bad debt is a wealth-destroying monster. High-interest consumer debt, like buying clothes or electronics on a credit card with a 22% APR, is a financial emergency. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a fire hose-sized hole in the bottom. Your number one priority should be to eliminate this type of debt as aggressively as possible. It is impossible to get ahead financially while carrying a significant high-interest debt load. However, not all debt is created equal. The wealthy understand that there is a powerful distinction between bad debt and good debt. Good debt is money you borrow to acquire an asset that is likely to increase in value or generate income. It's using leverage other people's money, the banks, to increase your potential returns. This is a sophisticated tool, but the concept is simple. You are betting that the asset you buy with the borrowed money will grow in value or produce income at a rate that is higher than the interest rate on the loan. The most common example of good debt is a mortgage. You might take out a $300,000 loan at a 5% interest rate to buy a house. Over time, that house might appreciate in value at a rate greater than 5%. Furthermore, you get to live in it, building equity with each payment instead of throwing money away on rent. Another example is taking out a business loan at a 7% interest rate to start a business that you project will generate a 20% return on investment. In these cases, debt becomes a tool to amplify your wealth-building efforts, not a shackle that holds you back. The key to using debt wisely is risk management. It's about being deliberate and analytical, not emotional. Before taking on any good debt, you must do your homework. What is the realistic potential return? What is the worst-case scenario? Can you comfortably afford the monthly payments even if things don't go perfectly? Using debt is like using a power tool. It can help you build something amazing much faster than you could by hand, but if you are careless, you can get seriously hurt. Learning to distinguish between debt that serves you and debt that enslaves you is a critical financial skill. Knowledge is useless without action. We've covered why saving isn't enough. Now let's put it all together into a simple step-by-step plan you can start today. Don't get overwhelmed. You don't have to do everything at once. Automate the important stuff so you can get on with your life. This is your path from saving to actively building wealth. Create a system that works in the background. First, save for an emergency fund. Before you invest $1, get a cash cushion. Save 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This is your get-out-of-jail-free card. Put it in a high-yield savings account. Yes, a savings account. Its job isn't to make you rich, it's to be safe and accessible, so you won't have to sell investments at a bad time. Once funded, you can move on. Second, attack high-interest debt. High-rate credit cards and loans above 7 to 8% are financial cancer. Make a list of your debts. Order them highest to lowest interest. Throw every extra dollar at the top one until it's gone, then move to the next. Now is not the time to invest heavily. Paying off a credit card can be a guaranteed 22% return. Third, automate your investments. This is your wealth-building engine. Set automatic transfers each payday to a low-cost investment account. Aim for 10 to 15% of your gross income. Start with a 401k or a Roth IRA. Invest in a diversified index fund or a target date fund. The key is automation. Money invested before you even have a chance to miss it. Consistency matters more than timing the market. Fourth, grow your income. Start small. You don't need to quit your job. Learn one new skill this year. Take an online course on public speaking. Learn basic video editing. Get a certification in your field. Once your system runs, emergency funds safe and investments automated, use extra income to accelerate. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Open an investment account. Set up a $50 automatic transfer. Take the first small step. Your future self will thank you.